Hey folks, Daniel from Velos here, and we are starting the very first podcast that we're going to be doing here at the shop. Hopefully, coming to you weekly to share some of our shop news, updates, and anything in between. So, for today, I wanted to share a little bit about my motivation for starting Velos and why I decided to do this at this point in my life. So, to give a bit of background, I've been a cyclist pretty much all of my life. I think I got my first bike when I was, I don't know, less than 10 years old. And, started like with a little kid's bike. But, cycling has been a huge part of my life ever since I was a kid. I started going on mountain biking adventures when I became a teenager, and that was a great way to see more of my home country, Costa Rica, and explore. And that's what I love about cycling is exploring. So, when I moved to Singapore, one of the first things that I did was get a road bike. Well, actually, originally I brought a folding bike that I had back in Costa Rica, but eventually bought a road bike here and started exploring Singapore a bit more. And then at some point, I also bought a road bike for my then girlfriend, Kaying, with the hope that we would go riding together. And that passion for cycling grew a lot here in Singapore. Eventually led to me joining cycling races, and I loved also to race. I'm not that good at it, but I really enjoy the constrained competitive aspect of it, and I really like the training and feeling like like I'm healthy and I'm strong. So with that, and spending more time on the bike, I started to want to tinker a bit more with my bike and be able to take care of it on my own, and started buying my own tools. With the training, I also got an indoor bike. So then the house that we lived in started basically becoming a full of bike stuff and of bikes. And it got a bit messy, a bit cluttered. So I was, starting to think, maybe I need some kind of solution for this, some kind of cycling den slash pain cave. And around the same time, I also took a big change in my life, which was to stop working full time at, let's say in the corporate world. So I found myself with a bit more free time, and I had basically 4-day weekends from Friday to Mondays that I could use for whatever I wanted. And at first I was just enjoying resting and cycling a lot more, but eventually I started thinking about doing something with that time that allowed me to further explore my passion for cycling. And that's where the idea of opening Felis Velos came across. So I had a few, let's say, ideas or requirements for the shop. The financial side, wasn't something I was too focused on, and maybe something I should focus on more. But for me, this is more about passion and enjoyment. But the few things that I needed or wanted was, one, I wanted this place to be close to home, so that I could just walk and come over anytime. Otherwise, I knew it would start becoming a bit of a chore to visit my own shop, and that wouldn't really work. Second, I wanted a place that I could use for, my own hobby of cycling and my own needs. And that meant, the indoor bikes. It meant having a space to work on the bikes, having a space to relax and recover after training. So that's why we combine some of these different elements here in Felis Velos, and why the shop, although small, is a place where people can come and do different things all in one place. And that's a bit the idea, because that served a need that I had for myself. Then I wanted it to be a place where I could connect with people. I didn't want to spend all my time on my own in the house, playing video games or whatever it was. I wanted to have the opportunity to meet more people, and ideally people that were passionate about cycling as well, or wanted to start getting into the sport. So that was one of my main motivations to putting this out there. It was to foster some of that sense of connection. And yeah, that was, I guess, a little bit the motivations for opening and starting Felis Velos. So at this point, we've been running the shop for about 5 months or so, I think, since we finished the remodel and actually opened our doors to the public. And I think the main thing that I'm super happy and super grateful about is that I have been able to meet a lot of people that I wouldn't have otherwise, because of the shop. People that have either walked outside the door and come in and say hi, and wondered what is this strange shop that popped up here in Grand Link Square, or people that have found us through Carousel or through Instagram or Google Maps even, and that I wouldn't have gotten a chance to meet otherwise, right? And for me, every time that somebody walks through the door, it's a great opportunity to get a new connection with someone that probably wouldn't have otherwise. And so I think that has been the greatest blessing of the shop so far, that has given me this kind of like platform, I guess, to be able to connect and engage with folks. Outside of that, secondly, because of the shop, I spent a lot more time learning about bikes in many different ways. So I don't know if you can see there behind me, but I have a bike technician certificate. So I spent a few days getting certified and learning a lot more about the mechanics aspects. I also have a bike fitting certificate, so also spent some time learning about bike fitting and some of the kind of like biomechanics around that, and techniques and process. And also I spend a lot of time now listening to cycling podcasts about everything from like nutrition to bike fitting to training, mistakes people make, new bike tech, etc. So that I find really exciting, and I hope that all this little knowledge that I gather, that at some point when somebody walks through the door, I can maybe enrich their life a bit and their cycling journey a bit with some of these like tidbits that I've learned. Yeah. So, anyways, this will hopefully be the first of more podcasts that we make, just to share with you all, with whoever is listening, some of what's going on here and how this story progresses. And yeah, if you have any any questions or are curious about anything, feel free to drop a comment and reach out. And if you're interested to learn more, yeah, you can. I hate to say this, but yeah, you can like subscribe and like the video as well. Sorry, but yeah, and hopefully also like come visit us here in person, even if it's just for a chat, just for a coffee. Would love to meet more people that love to cycle, and you know, hopefully help you out in one way or another. But okay, yeah, that's it for today. Our first ever Felis Velos podcast.